Hello there my friends, and welcome to episode 10 of my tutorial playthrough. Between the last episode and this one, I plugged in more steam generators to ensure my power supply. At this point I'm using the 1200 units of water per second the pump can provide to its full extent. So you see, a single boiler unit uses 60 units of water per second. Where is it here? Consumes water 60 per second. So one pump can supply 20 boilers with water, which we now have fully utilized. It's looking a little bit funky, but I couldn't expand further southwards due to the cliffs there. Also, we have the new miner look is now live, in case you didn't know that before. These are electric mining drills. That's now what they look like today. And today's topic is going to be a science facility. We're going to dismantle this little science facility, and this is going to be, as a matter of fact, the moment when we can leave the starter base completely behind us. That's really cool, because that's a pretty big step for us. So over here I see that one of the miner drills now went empty. You see a red light here that marks that this guy is not working anymore. It goes the same, and there we go. The yellow light marks that this guy is not able to output because there's no room. Okay, we're going to pick up some ammo, and the ammo is going to crap my inventory somewhat, but well, ammo and turrets are now very important things to get by. Okay, and whoa, they destroyed my turret. I have to get there, because if they're at my turret, they're also at my smelters. But looks like the biter and the turret killed somehow each other. I'm very surprised about this outcome. Very. Ah, no, they tried to attack the rest of the facility and then got gunned down by the other guys. So you see, the amount of ammo I'm carrying around with me is probably not enough to begin with. But since I'm producing more and more pollution, it's the normal way of events. So I can see here some piles of biters, and oh, here you can see now our defense is live in action. So you see, biters have this behavior of getting together, clumping up somewhere, and then attacking your base. So sooner or later we're going to put up walls wherever we want to ensure our safety, but not today. Today it's going to be all about getting a laboratory down. So let's grab the resources from the wall and get going. I already made up my mind where the laboratory area will live, and it's going to be past those cliffs. I would be getting a little bit closer to other areas if there wasn't this nasty cliff situation here, which makes proper building quite hard. We're going to utilize this area somehow later. Okay, whoops, I ran past the mall area here. So here we go. There's also some defense open, so it seems like I have to walk up and down a few more times, but I feel like this is also quite educational to show you how a defense in action will work. And that's also why I left the biters on in this playthrough, because when I started learning Factorio, I did that with tutorial videos too. So thanks to Catherine of Sky for infecting me with that game. If you haven't checked out her videos yet, please do that. She's making really great content. And I'm going to drop down some radar panel down here. And what I wanted to say is that Catherine of Sky's videos have one certain drawback, the tutorial videos I watched were without biters, and I felt like, well, I do like the what's it called? The turret defense game and the aspects of Factorio. I really like that. Just got sidetracked by thinking about how to put this up, but then I decided for myself that I want to have a proper fortification here. So I feel like the fight against biters is real fun, and for me, part of the game I really enjoy. But then again, there are the episodes on like C Block I'm playing, where we're having a completely peaceful gameplay, and I'm enjoying those a lot as well. So it's hard to tell what's really the favorite of mine. So since I'm not having enough walls to ensure the whole thing, I'm going to cover it up like that. Okay, so I put up another radar panel down here. I'm going to expand that into this direction too, I think. But not for now. I just wanted to make sure that I have some vision on this side of the map. Okay. So, but also I wanted to buy myself some time to get new things built in between. And also see if there's any more danger afoot. I'm picking up some random wood here in between to ensure new materials being available for the handcrafting of small electric power poles. I might have the larger ones already available, but I like to have the small ones too. So there we go. Only one stack, please. My inventory is limited, but I'm picking up a large amount of belts because at the end of the day, you always need stupendous amounts of belts. And inserters, so let's get those two. Okay. So, 7 minutes in and finally we're starting to talk about the science. So, science packs are... What's that sound? Science packs, well, we know them before from a few episodes before, but now today I'm going to... no, that's not fluids. Where are the science packs here? It's intermediate products. So I'm going to set up 3 chains here on Helmod to illustrate our plans. So I'm going to erase that one. I'm going to use that slot later for something else. So I want an output of 1.5 red science packs per second. That's equaling 90 science packs per minute. I personally feel like this is could be a pretty good way. Let's see how much effort this would take. So we would need a 15 assemblers of those. Okay, let's get to the green ones. For the green ones, we would need 18 assemblers like that. So I already consider this a pretty large scaled operation, and there we would need 15 inserters like that. And we would need 12. So you see, the amount of production necessary for that just well, beats my scale for now. But that's why I like to use tools like Helmod, because the amount of time I would need to hand calculate that is way higher. So we're going to increase our science output as soon as I have better assembling machines available, because I don't think I have the better ones yet, do I? Well, I do have better ones available. Mass-produced already. Well. These are a few things to take into consideration, you know. So let's get back into this. I'm going to do one more thought here. And if you find that a little bit confusing, I just want to share the thought process here. So if we upgrade this to tier 2 machinery, you see, suddenly the whole thing gets less bulky. So we're possibly able to pull this off in a better way with tier 2 machinery. So that's 12 assemblers. Yeah, we can do that. So since I don't want to, oh well, you can configure it to use tier 2 machinery by default, but not for today. So I'm not going to produce my green circuits here by hand. We're just going to pick these up. So this is the building list for the green science, and the first time ever we're also going to introduce the military science pack, which will open us new venues of science here. So we're going to produce the things we need locally. So we need red clips and we need grenades. So with tier 2 machinery, the input strongly gets reduced. So okay, so that's going to be our building list for the gray science. You see here a pretty large amount of coal is needed per second, so we're going to see how to supply this whole machinery. Okay, that's also the reason why I reserved quite a lot of space for that. We're going to expand our main bus now up to new adventures. So we're going to take the copper and the iron just here with us, and oh boy, that's a nasty one. This cliff cuts my way in a really unfortunate way. Later on we can just bomb away those cliffs, but for now I just have to follow the terrain here a little bit. That's pretty nasty because I have to change the flow of my belt by one grid. And this does make a certain difference, since, as you might have noticed a while ago, every grid here matters. Every line here is already calculated a while in advance. So up here I'm going to let my laboratory area live. So we're just fetching the materials we need to get them up here. So that's going to be the steel input line. So I'm pretty sure that the setup of the laboratory will be something we're going to cover up in this and the next episode, because obviously there's going to be quite a lot of stuff going on here. You might have already noticed that by the amount of machines we need to build. The setup with 90 science packs per minute is pretty, well, it's not really large. I would call it an intermediate setup, but it is enough to guide you through the most parts of the game. It should be actually enough to finish the game with, unless you're impatient and want things done quicker. Then of course nobody can save you. You have to do things quicker then. Going to bake myself some bricks here, because you see I'm removing a lot of these stones because I feel like they are in my way, but I'm also accumulating a quite large amount of stone. So I'm having some coal still in my pocket. So something I really like to do is to get the coal inside there. Let's do twice, 2 of those. I'm going to put some stones in there, and we're going to make a little thing that just exists for a while until it is finished in producing bricks for me. So there we go. I'm also going to install some chests in here, where I'm going to input all the stones, and then off we go. So this thing here will just get rid of my excess stone in my inventory for me, and I can just pick up the bricks afterwards when I need them. I really like to do these little things in the area I'm working to get rid of junk in my inventory, especially if it's refinable junk. But apart from that, I strongly advise you to have some sort of container somewhere where you just dump things that you don't need at the moment. Because your inventory space gets limited quite hard. The longer you play, the more you... No, that's a wrong wording. What I try to say is the longer you play the game, the more you'll notice how limited your inventory actually is. So, because the amount of things you're carrying around with you only grows. It's not getting less at any point. So we're going to pipe through the electronic circuits here as well, because we're obviously needing them too. And then I can finally start building the laboratory with you friends. So the idea for this laboratory is to give us some larger quantity of science packs to work with. Because at the moment here, or starter lab, first off, it doesn't give us the ability to build gray science packs. Also, we're quite limited with the amount of science packs the place produces. I'm also picking up some more ammo because I feel like I want to have some. And I'm going to pick up some more grenades because grenades are just your friends when you need to get rid of trees and stuff. So we can now research a few more things. Well, they lead to other useful things, which I all don't need right now, so no. I'm not going to research more for the time being, because I don't want to add up things into the game right now that we're not using. I'm a big fan of keeping things as simple and compact as possible, especially when I try to do a tutorial series. Okay. So another thing we're going to need for the laboratory will be bricks and coal. So I think the brick factory down over there will be expanded. I'm going to set up a few more furnaces in the future time, but we're not there yet. Where does the coal come from here? I just want to know. So it's the same coal we use for our smeltering process, and as you see, our smelter is not getting enough iron ore anymore. So yeah, these miners have all run dry. So we have some work to do in between, but for now, let's just connect the things I wanted to connect. Oh yeah, I also wanted to pick up some gun turrets. That's what I wanted. Because gun turrets are essentially something I right now, I just drop them wherever I walk. Wherever I feel like the borders of my factory are not covered right now, I just drop a few turrets. That's why I went for the mass production of ammo as soon as I could, even sooner than science, because you might be noticing the yellow alert markings the whole time. We're getting attacked quite frequently here at this point already. And if I would have rushed the science beforehand, I would be struggling with the ammo against the biters at this point, so that's why I chose what I chose. So, but now we can just pick up the planner, and we're going to start with the rat science packs. I'm going to pick up the recipe here, and I'm going to... Where's the pin? There's the pin. So we're going to... There's this little helper here where you can keep your needs with you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is there's going to be the laboratory area will be divided in two parts. There's going to be one part where we're going to produce the science packs, and there's going to be the other part where we will be consuming them. And I felt like I'm pretty sure that my military production will be happy with the room it has here. So I felt like I'm going to drop the consumption area over here. So this is going to be the place where I'm going to consume my science packs. But more of that later. We're going to produce our science thus in this cluster here. So let's get started. We need to split off input venues, of course. So this guy is having enough ammo, but he's alone. I don't like that. So many places where we have to defend. So we're going to pick up our materials here first. You see, I'm already splitting off in larger, with larger pictures in mind, because this is going to be the input venue for this whole array. We're going to make it like this, and like that. Well, I'm going to let it run here, because I keep repeating myself, but having some room between the belts helps you separating them later. So we need this one here. And of course we have to reorganize that these connections later when the bus grows, because the bus will grow quite soon. We won't be able to sustain our hunger of iron plates with just one belt. I'm going to expand my productions after the after the laboratory area got finished. Let's check it out here. Yeah, we're into constant attack. Oh my. But at least we're now having the materials available we need. So the first array is the simplest. We're just needing some copper and some iron, and that's going to be that. I'm going to let these run like here, up to the end, just for some measurement. This is mainly a measurement for me. So I'm going to split off the iron here. Let's split it off into this direction and split off the copper we need over here. So now, of course, we need to pipe these guys through. So we're going to make something like this happen. And here I won't go here I go narrow. You see, here I have already separated what I need, so there's no more use of being careful with that. And also I noticed that the copper plates and the iron gear wheels will be on equal, are needed in equal amounts, so that's a good thing. Here I'm using the Helmod Smart tool to drop down a ghost of that thing, which already has a configuration there. It basically just creates a little ghost of the unit, and I forgot to pick up assemblers. Okay. There we go. And the main use here is that the mod already prepares the production here for me. So we're going to see. If we would go for basic inserters, we would need a crazy amount of inserters. So I'm going to do the fast inserters, and we're going to make it afterwards like this. So that's that. And it turns out I would only need half a belt of these copper plates. So how to achieve that? It's quite easy. We're going to make it like this. I'm going to set up a filter here for the copper plates, and we're going to make it like that. So now what's happening is that there are no more copper plates allowed on this belt. And I'm going to make it like that. And now you see what happens is the belt here is empty because the splitter is not allowed to put any copper plates through this. And if I connect this belt like that, it's going to drop all the copper plates on the lower half of the map. And as you can see here, the iron gear wheels getting produced here. Well, I'm going to power this up so it gets visible more easily. Okay, well, it's more easily said than done. Where's my power network? Shouldn't I have some... Okay, I have to do some changes in the future. Okay, so now we're there. So what happens now is that I'm having a perfect belt available for the red science packs. I'm having the gear wheels I need on the one side of the belt and the copper plates on the other side of the belt. Since we're only needing 1.5 copper plates per second and 1.5 iron gear wheels per second, this belt offering me a speed of 15 items per second, no problem. We're not even close to stressing out this system. Okay. So the next steps are particularly easy. We're just dropping down the assemblers like that. I'm going to drop down 5. I do this as clusters of 5 due to organization issues. Just it's easier for me to count. Oh my, got wounded. It's easier for me to count if I do it like that. And now the rest is just pretty easy. We have a simple input-output scenario where we are dropping these guys like that, and then there's the belt here where the science packs get dropped onto. Let's configure it. There we go. Boom. Done. So the red science packs are of course also the easiest to produce. So we're going to get to the green science now, which is a little bit more complicated. So for the green science packs, we're first off needing 12 factories producing those guys, and we have 4 assemblers with pre-production measures. So we're going to have it like this. I want to try it if I succeed, but my idea here would be when all of this is set up and running, we're going to have the green science packs on this side, and this will create a belt which will look quite similar like this. There's going to be red science on one side of the belt and green science on the other side of the belt. So what do we need here? We need iron plates and electronic circuits to do this. So I'm now going over to my supply array, and we're just literally splittering off the items we need. So there we go. Let's take that here, and then we're going to go underground here. Just like I said before, here we go, a little bit more compact. And there we need a input of transport belts and inserters, but we're going to need 2 assemblers for iron gear wheels. So I'm going to drop down these guys first, because they will be the first in line when it comes down to the production necessities. There we go. So here the difference between using the tool or not, it's not really a big deal. I don't want to promote Helmod here too heavily, even though it might look a little bit like I do, but honestly, I just am a lazy person, and I want to show everybody how it's easy to be a lazy person, if that makes any sense to you. That's my motivation here. Okay, so with the iron gear wheels and the inserters and transport belts, it's not as easy as it was with the red science. The inserters will need iron plates, iron gear wheels, and electronic circuits. So we can mix one belt, and I'm going to do that because it's always really nice if you do that. So here we're going to use the same method as before. I'm going to configure the allowance of the iron plates into this direction. Yeah. So there's now no more iron plates on this side of the belt, and as soon as the production here rolls in, I want to illustrate it, these iron gear wheels will now wander onto the belt and be like there. That's just what we're going to do. So this is going to be the input for the transport belt machines. So we're going to check out what kind of inserters this machine needs. So with basic inserters, we would be also at a loss. So we're going to use more fast inserters. So since I'm going to need 2 of them, well, I wouldn't really need 2 of them, but we're going to pretend like this was a perfect system. Okay, so there goes. Next up are the inserters. For the inserters, we need the electronic circuits as well. So I'm going to lead these guys over here, and we're going to make it like that. And here the inserters will get produced. Boom. And since these guys need now, of course, these materials and these materials, I'm going to make it like that. Like I said, it's completely over-exaggerating, but the good thing about inserters you place too many is they're not wasting any energy unless they're up and running. So it's one good thing. You in Factorio you only waste your materials for production. So and well, here you see another belt is created, which offers us 2 materials at once, and we're going to use this belt now to feed the green science arrays, and that's that. Wonderful. Here we go. So this is going to be the other side of the array. So we're going to drop down some inserters here now, and then I'm going to plug it in. And this is going also the end of this episode because, like I said, I want to spread the installment of the laboratory in 2 episodes, mainly because we have now reached half an hour, and with this video series is dedicated to a more educational style, and I feel like 30 minutes are a really good minimum unit. 45 minutes are tops for me, but I'm absolutely sure that I'm not going to be able to install the Gray Science and install the laboratory in 15 minutes, so I'm going to cut it here for today. I hope you understand. So here I just want to show you guys where we're headed now. Here we have a belt with red signs on one side and green signs on the other side. There's a production of 1.5 kits per second, and the other machines here will accommodate that. In the next episode, we're going to produce the gray signs there as well, which will roughly live over here, and then we're going to drop down the laboratories over here. So feel free to drop me some comments down below if there are any questions, ideas, or what. I like to hear from you guys. And also feel free to support this video and my channel by liking this video or subscribing. I hope I was able to help you a little bit more with liking Factorio, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. Bye bye.